Well, it's been a quiet week here in Lake Scottleton, my hometown. In this week's episode, pulled from the archives, I have no voice, Kevin is sick, and a record number of guests are on the show. Members of the band Mobb Boss and Casting Shadows join the Squids to talk about what makes Furnace Fest such a memorable experience, discuss music selections for Earth's Paddleboard Challenge, and Pete's adventure at the Eisley show.
I just sent the link again to my buddy's Furnace Fest group chat and said, just so you have it easy, here you go, see you in a little bit. And Flip just responded with, I've done so much research on pickles.
I can't wait.
Well, happy Failure Puddle Friday, everybody. We're back again, and it's going to be a lot of guests on this one. So this will be this will be exciting. And it's all of Jared's buddies and that we all met down at Furnace Fest. So it'll be cool to see them again. And Ert will be here, we believe.
Ert! You mean we're going to talk about Furnace Fest again?
Crew.
I feel like it might come up a time or two.
Hey, Caleb.
Mention here and there.
Shout out to Caleb the Spy. Yes, we're going to bring up Furnace Fest again, but it's a little Furnace Fest hometown hootenanny today.
Might get an angry roofer call over that.
That's right.
Bring him in.
Is it time?
Yeah,
it's
sure.
time.
It's time for the horde.
Let's bring in our guests.
Let's do it.
5 in the waiting room. This will be the most ever in Lake
Oh,
Scott.
my
Whoa!
goodness, look at
Here
these
we go!
people coming in.
Here we go!
So many people.
They're coming around the bend.
Wait. Who's Robert?
Finally.
No one knows.
Ert,
Yeah,
Ert, fix
I
your
demand the real Ert, please.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no one wants to
Ert,
talk to Robert.
I changed my name on the Zoom. You can change yours.
Dude, Flip, I love your background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you there right now?
I
It
am.
really is. Look at that.
I am. I'm sitting a weirdly odd distance away from the furnace.
And it's a summer's.
Very
clear
hot.
day.
Yeah.
How many of you all are pantsless at the moment? There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Well done. I haven't accomplished that yet.
Dustin Hoffman is naked because he's not on here yet. So
Likely.
Typical fashion.
Yep.
I guess we should say, hey, or Kevin, do you want to do an actual intro?
I suppose. Did I do one earlier? I can't remember.
I don't think we did. I think we just messed around.
No, you did. You did one, but
Did I?
now we have
I'll do
guests.
another
Should we do
one.
another one? Yeah.
Yeah,
Was I
let's
busy
another
doing
one.
You know
Why
what?
not?
Let's do a second
Everybody's
intro.
here. Sure,
not my
why
bad.
not? Well, happy Failure Puddle Friday, everybody.
All
Good
right.
to see y'all.
What's up?
Hi.
Yeah.
That was a great intro.
Good
It
intro.
was.
We,
Yeah.
we have a lot of people.
Yeah, I think Brock needs to do everybody's introduction.
Okay. Well, the famous Ert is one of the best paddlers known to mankind. He's about to demonstrate that, but he's going to need a soundtrack. John has more guitars than any one person could possibly have until now. Look at those guitars on the wall behind him. Flip never leaves Sloss Furnaces. Flip is there at the moment. I don't know why it is daylight there, but it is. It's the magic
Time
of
stands
Flip.
still.
Adam just goes to drug church, not just on Sundays, but every day of the week. He
Every
is
day.
there. He is there, and he's in the middle of the pit. And David has a family, which we can tell because he is an upstanding gentleman.
Show off.
How'd I do, guys?
They won't freaking go to bed. That's the problem.
I know that feeling.
I have no idea who David is. I only know him as Dustin Hoffman, but okay.
I know him as a beautiful man.
Oh,
We say
so
he's
does
a
his
beautiful
daughter.
man.
They're saying I'm a beautiful man.
Yep, he's a good-looking fellow.
And we're funny. Look at that. 100% of children on the podcast agree.
Is laughter the right response to that? Is that the no?
Yeah, I've got to
Love
get
it.
all 4 in bed, which should take about 10 minutes. So
Okay.
don't do anything too crazy. No nudity until I'm back.
We won't do anything. We won't do anything. No.
All right.
We're all going to wait.
Last night's recording.
I appreciate that he used the word nudity instead of nakedness. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah. It's more obscure.
Right. Anyway, go ahead.
No.
Sorry, Brock.
No, I was just gonna say I had my kids doing backflips and like landing on my head during last night's recording. So yeah.
Did you get a shot in with the pillow after you jumped off?
Oh, did I? No.
Yeah. No.
I put them right on their pillows. That's what happened.
Nice. Well, thanks guys for
Yeah.
I can't believe we pulled it off. Everybody had the same time available and made it happen. So appreciate it. And the connecting thread here, right, is we all met at Furnace. Well, everybody met in person at Furnace Fest as a group.
Yep.
That's right. Who's going to open up this pit? This is your last chance.
You were the thread, man.
Yeah.
Well done.
The center of this thing, I guess.
Don't mind me. I'm gonna pour some 3-chord. Here we go. Little furnace
dude.
furnace fest.
No.
I'm with there with you, Pete.
Hey, look at that.
My
Everybody's
man.
nice.
All
Hey,
right.
man.
Cool.
All right,
Which
fine. I'll go get
vintage is
mine.
yours?
I'll be right back.
Hey, is anybody else on this call doing a sober January?
No.
No, I'm the only
Only
one.
one.
Okay.
Probably Dave, because
Stands to reason. Nobody will care. No, I was
Calvert for sure. Not by choice.
It's
sure.
just- are you sober?
Yes.
Right now or for the month of January?
Right now because my kids are still up.
Oh, sure. Makes sense. Can't have them seeing that. Ruins
No,
the image.
I don't know. I don't have too much cares about the dry January and no shave November and such things. So I'm not hip enough for that. I
There you
just
go.
don't have time to go make a delicious drink.
Say it's wet January.
Is it? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
wet January.
Yeah,
There we go.
There we go. Oh, there's another bottle of 3-chord.
There we go. Perfect.
Right. No, I have time to pour a shot, I'm sure.
In the absence of 3-chord, I'll just have to play 3 chords for the rest of the podcast while we're all talking.
Yes, please. Make sure they're the
GCD.
traditional. Yep,
That's
traditional.
right.
GCD.
Yep. Yeah, in that order.
Do you know who the
Yes.
proprietor of 3-chord is?
It's the husband of
Yeah, of
Yes.
who?
Pat Benatar.
Phil Giraldo.
No way. How about that?
So,
which is why they do all the musical collaborations and tie-ins. Yeah. And the 3-chord name.
Yeah.
I have a whole box of 3-chord waiting at my brother-in-law's because the delivery window was a certain window and they delivered it 2 weeks after that window because I was going to be at my brother-in-law's and it didn't come. So
Oh,
he's
man.
got
Oh, no.
so he might have drank it all by now, but
So you
Had a
don't
couple
have
of
any
the-
more bourbon at this point.
no, I had plenty of bourbon, just not. I mean, just the 3-chord because I got the hailstorm one because my buddy's coming out from your area, Brock, from
Yeah.
Ording, and he loves hailstorm, so we're gonna go see
There we
him out
go.
here. And I got the bourbon, so I could have some with him, and I might have to make a little quick trip to New York to go pick it up. Hey, great story.
Yeah, I hope you get it. I hope it it's delivered as promised.
Hey, I'm leaving now. All right, see you guys.
Okay. Yep. We'll see you by the end of the show. You'll be back.
Pete.
Bye, guys.
It was fun.
Yeah. Everybody on the call is into bourbon, right? I'm thinking everybody likes it. I'm curious, what is the lowest common denominator for bourbon that we have? Like, if we all throw out, let's say Jack Daniels, is everyone okay with Jack Daniels?
No.
No, I see a shaking head. No, sir. No, we are not.
What about Evan Williams Black? That seems like a acceptable low end.
Bert's about to take us on a tour. I know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
He's
see
ready to
his,
go.
his bourbon cart.
He's ready to go.
I've heard tell.
Do it, Ert.
I think he's muted.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you, Ertis.
Yeah, he's quiet.
He's just real
Oh, let's-
quiet.
Guys, I'm going to do a
Speak
voiceover. What
louder.
Ert's saying.
Ert, speak
You gotta
louder.
get closer, Ert. I think you probably have that original sound for musicians off or something. Oh, you have a
So I
mic.
like socks.
What is happening?
Check your audio setting and see what your mic input is.
It's really better off this way.
Jeez.
Is
Ert.
is the cable plugged into the thing?
Unplug it and plug it back in to start.
I
Okay.
believe it's known as a dongle,
Yes.
Well, that's what they're calling it these days.
which I thought somebody was messing with me when they told me that.
Still can't hear you.
Still nothing.
For the love.
He's talking very enthusiastically.
Yeah, just leave a bunch of voicemails, Ert, and we'll just listen to them.
Yeah, in sequence. In sequence. We could probably do a whole
Real
show.
sign
there.
language, buddy. Hit that chat.
Hold on, let me go get that ASL interpreter. Let's go.
Could do a bad lip reading.
I know.
Okay,
right?
so I'm just going to assume he.
Sure.
I see him. She's nodding his head. Yeah, if he's okay with it. All right. So you tell me this, sir. Is there anything finer in the world than Old Crow on the rocks? That's what I go for.
Oh.
It's real good. Yep, he's shaking his head. He's into it. Yep. All right, you heard it here first, folks. The Earth the Master.
This is great for audio.
Of all of the bourbons, all the bourbons in the world, he says the finest thing in the world is Old Crow on the rocks. Okay, all right. I think we've done what we needed to do here. I think we can call this podcast complete and total and perfect.
Yeah, he's ticked.
He got so upset he left.
He logged off. He was done. He said what he had to say.
It's like no other questions, Your Honor.
Pritchett, is that the Hatebreed shirt?
It is.
Nice.
I thought it'd be appropriate for today. This shirt perfectly sums up my life circa 1997.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
Audio check.
Hey.
But
So tell us about that Old Crow.
We still can't hear you.
Yeah, we can. There he is.
Guys, the joke was we were going to just have him keep talking.
It was working there for a minute.
You're in the game.
Yeah, no, Pete, I was trying to think of some reverse Squid Game where you'd pick my drink tonight, but yeah.
Well, I don't know what you have, so
You can just
I got
there you
nothing.
go.
All right.
the most expensive unopened bottle on the cart. That's what you should drink tonight.
While he goes over there, Pritchett, give us that
Holy
shirt again.
mother.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this.
I don't want to take away from Ert's bourbon collection.
Oh yeah.
Please.
It's a
See the
work
beer
of
room.
art.
That's just the
There's
bourbon
the
room.
shelf.
That's like a scheduled item on your home insurance.
It is right now, actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my
there's
gosh.
You got to declare that value.
That's got another wing.
it does. It's got a wing.
My goodness. Wow.
Wow.
Can I come over?
Yes. Anyone
Okay.
and always welcome. That's the only way
There's
it's
a
going
beer
anywhere.
bedroom too.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you still have your beer room? Or
Yes, I can go back there. The tequila's over here.
okay.
Oh, I didn't know you'd expand it out.
This is Ert's an alcoholic. I didn't tell you guys that part. High functioning though.
We all have a few things we would like to say. I love you,
Yeah.
and you don't have to turn to these substances.
I am valued.
Brought you here under the guise of a podcast.
I'll take possession of your collection and hold on to it for you, buddy.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep-
Yes.
Yeah. I would go back to the beer room, but I honestly think it's got a lot in front of it and hard to see.
Is
So
that a
we'll-
lot of bottles of bourbon or?
That and just other household items.
Okay. All right. I didn't know if
Yeah.
it was more alcohol.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's in the garage.
Also considered a household item.
Household
The
items.
overflow alcohol's in the garage.
Right.
Well,
That's great.
there is the beer fridge in the garage. So.
I love it. I love it.
So, Jared,
Man after my own
Ert is
heart.
not the friend who had the Jaeger machine in his kitchen, is it?
No, that was
Okay.
a friend in Florida in Gainesville.
Okay, because
But
that's
Ert
made of
has
alcohol,
everything
too.
else in his house. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I suppose we could answer Ert's voicemail that he left.
Oh, let's hear it. Yeah.
Cool.
Come on.
All the other guys can chime in too with their offers.
There we go.
I am curious.
What are y'all talking about?
Yeah, we haven't aired that episode yet.
Oh yeah.
that comes out Friday.
Yeah, Jared.
So-
Come on.
So Ert called us and he wanted album recommendations for his training for his paddle to the Bahamas. Is that where you're paddling to? Where are you going?
So we start in the Bahamas, in Bimini, and we go to the west coast of Florida, or east coast of Florida. Yeah.
So you can paddle across the ocean.
Yep. Cross the Gulf Stream, 80 miles.
Amazing.
Start at midnight. We go until we finish.
Oh,
So they don't
okay.
stop you in the
That's
middle
awesome.
to check your credentials to like admit you into the country or anything like that?
No, we
It's not a
definitely get
boat.
stamped
You do it
in
at
the
the end?
Bahamas, and no
Okay.
one checks us coming back. So you know we're
Oh,
just at the
interesting.
Coast Guard's mercy.
Wow. So I guess that's how you would get in if you wanted to, is just during this event.
Yeah, just come straight on.
Okay.
Stage a charity paddle race, and then you
Yep.
can come in illegally for sure.
I guess I need to clarify at this point that I don't condone that in any means. It's not something you should do. It's against the law. There are other ways, and those are the ways that you should take. So, yeah, just to be
Yeah.
clear.
Thanks for clearing
But-
that up.
Yeah,
He asked
that's really
for
good.
playlist recommendations, and I think you said you wanted 2 hard albums
Just 2 hard albums.
and then 2 softer,
Well,
lighter.
Like
Either-
keep you going.
Yeah, something like full album play, but you
Yep.
know, in the Christian variety or secular. Either
Okay.
or.
Good.
I got plenty of hours to put in. We can go both.
Yeah. Hard to listen to.
it's a hard deliberation because I have so many different albums going through my head. But I would say my first one for the hard side, because when I was kind of getting ready for a bike race way back in the day, I was playing Project 86, Wait for the Sirens.
Like that.
Where it has a little fall Goliath. And that every time, fall, Goliath, fall, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Even, Project 86 or not, that's a great album. And I've got to go MuteMath, self-titled. That goes pretty, not traditional hard. Not traditional hard like we know from Furnace Fest, but it goes hard.
He needs to paddle into and out of the MuteMath corner with us.
Yeah. we'll stay over in the main ears because that answers your question. But if you want to come back over, anytime.
Yeah.
I was wondering if we'd bring up MuteMath tonight. So hey,
mark it off on your bingo cards.
Box checked. We've done it.
Bam. Do we have bingo cards? Because circle gets a square.
I started Armistice today. I got the reset, or I got the EP record, listened to that, and then listened to self-titled 2 days ago, and listened to Armistice this morning.
Nice. Which version of the self-titled did you listen to? Was it the original release or the expanded edition?
The original.
Okay, there you go. Very good.
So my 2 picks, I just kind of picked 2. I would go Living Sacrifice, The Hammering Process.
Ooh.
Love that album. And the other one I would do would be Zao, Funeral of God.
Excellent one as well. I like both of those, Kevin.
Yeah, I figured those are good, like just, like if I've had a rough day at work and I just need something, those are 2 albums that like are solid,
Yeah, well, I like the fact that like just when I'm training, I'll just be like in the motion. So anytime I don't have to stop and hit skip,
yes.
I just know I know it's the next thing's gonna work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brock, you got your hard albums like ready to go?
Oh man, ask me how much hard music I know.
I am really excited about this one.
Yeah.
But I got you. I think it's not hard per se, but Eve 6's Horoscope. It's a good listen. It's peppy. It's got some pick up and go.
I was hoping you'd do some Eve 6.
Yeah, no, that's a fun record. Yeah.
Does it go hard? That's the only thing. Does it go hard?
Yeah. It goes very hard. The only thing that could possibly go harder than Eve 6 is Carmen's Righteous Invasion of Truth. You're going to listen to the whole thing, and it's going to take you places. And at the end, you will be a better person. Not because you listened to it, but because you got through it.
Because you survived. Yes.
Wow. That's word.
That's the whole
It'll give you something
correct.
to think about besides the physical pain. Yeah.
I love it. I am actually going to do that.
Okay, there we go.
It's a long race.
He warned you, yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
Ert's
I've got
gonna
2.
curse my name forever.
Nailed it.
I've got 2 EPs for you, Ert.
All right.
Because I feel like if you're paddling across 80 miles, you can't paddle hard for long. You gotta go hard and take a break.
Yeah, you got to break that.
So Divine Rights, Salvation Ends.
Took one of mine.
Sorry. That's like gets to the point, bam, bam, bam. It's gonna be done, but it's awesome the whole time. You're gonna love it. You're gonna come out straight edge. You're gonna quit drinking tequila and bourbon by the time you're done because the X has yet to fade. You're gonna get fired up.
Yeah.
And then the other one's a North Carolina Christian hardcore band. Their new one, No Treaty, Sound the Trumpet. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
I have not heard that one.
One of their guitar players is a friend of mine.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
really?
nice.
Yeah.
I like that album.
Kyle Calise.
So trying to find something that you may not be listening to, Ert, rather than just
You nailed
recommend
it.
something we've talked about. Yeah.
Sure.
So they're both short.
That's excellent work.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they'll get
if
you
I was
going.
gonna include EPs, I might have put the new Neon Horse EP in there too.
Ooh.
All right, what about you other guys? Anybody thinking of something?
I'm always going to go a little old school for the original. And I don't, I have to say, I got Erd into hardcore.
He did. He totally did.
And
My man.
yeah,
My
so
man.
like back in the day, but Erd, I'm going to go back to one of my originals that one of my gateways was the Vision of Disorder, their original album.
Yeah.
Just still rips.
Can it be a classic?
Mm-hmm. And then I'll do a newer, but not their newest album, Wilhelm Scream, Lose Your Delusion.
I like that.
I like it. This is going to be a good list.
Come on, Adam, what do you have? I don't think you've said anything yet. We need some effort in here.
I have one hard one that's kind of dancey, also makes you want to shake your booty a little bit. So you might like get distracted from your workouts, but Electric Callboy,
I
Techno,
knew it. I
Yeah.
was waiting for that.
Oh yeah.
Pump It has to be on like any workout playlist. So yeah,
Adam always delivers, and that does as well.
it goes hard the whole time. There's some weird
Yep.
stuff in the middle of it, but just roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
At least everybody behind him will get distracted. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, and I got one soft per se, but in a way it goes hard, just differently. I'd go with Toto 4. Gotta love some
yes.
some Africa in there and everything else. So yeah, I would throw it in there for the softer option.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Excellent work, Adam.
Yes, sir. Those just come off the top of my head. Yeah.
For me, man, speaking of Zayo, I wear Blood and Fire Bring Rest. It gets me every time. Like
Mm-hmm.
just brutal. And then what else would be good? I mean, you can't go wrong with just throwing in Advent too, just to keep the North Carolina
yeah.
hardcore alive.
Yeah.
And
Yes, sir.
Having Joe along is never a bad thing.
Right.
Surprised you didn't get Joe to paddle with you.
I run into him occasionally over at the local gym. So
What are the criteria again for these records? Because I was wrangling one of the children at the moment that you were describing that. I have
no
my ear
specific
in,
criteria
so I'm like
other
half
than just
listening.
other than just something that's like a fun full album. Can be hard, can be non-hard, could be Christian, could be non-Christian.
Oh, yeah, and to bounce off Flip's Advent suggestion, I'd suggest the Pain and Suffering EP because you're going to be in a lot of pain and suffering.
that's great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is going to be that.
So I think that's appropriate.
Very.
I mean, so this is leaning more pop, but the guitars have some crunch. But the first Jonesetta record, Popularity,
yeah.
So
That's
good.
a great record.
that's got
Yes.
it's all bangers, so you wouldn't be skipping anything. And it's
Are you
got
writing this
good
down,
energy.
Art?
I'm coming back for the audio later.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured.
In Kevin, I trust.
That's great.
Yeah.
You can ask
Sounds
Pete
like
to write things down. That's what we do.
No,
Ah.
no, yeah, I got the audio. Yeah, no, you're good.
Pete
No.
is the secretary of this group.
Well,
official
yes,
editor.
yeah.
Mhm.
And recorder.
He says he writes it down. I don't
You
know.
take a memo.
No. Yes, yes. Hey, Google, take a memo.
Co-pilot.
Yeah. What are you? Microsoft Copilot. Yeah, no, I write some things down. They're somewhere. I can't find them later, but they're written down.
That's the important part.
Yep.
I mean, and if I'm going to go another 20-year-old record that's a no skipper, this is more chill, but the Everglow, like no skips on that record either. Yeah, that would be if you have to do some intermittent work, because there's a few songs that have some bounce and then it's chill in between. So, yeah.
He's got a lot of cardio ahead of him for a long time. So
Long time.
he just needs a steady, keep it going.
Mm-hmm.
I got your two soft ones are for that purpose. Number one is DJ Danger Mouse's Gray album. I think you should listen to that mashup. You might have to get on YouTube to pull this off because I don't think it's legal, but it's so good. And then I was also going to do a Carmen Brock, but I was going to say the Champion because you're just going to once
there you go.
Once you've
Absolutely.
heard him defeat the devil, you're going to win. When the Champion comes out,
Everything
and
else
gets
is
up off the
possible.
mat,
Everything else is easy. Yeah.
You'll paddle all the way to Florida and probably to the West Coast. So Carmen the Champion.
Just keep
You don't even
going.
stop when you hit land. You just keep going.
Won't even need a rest.
I was digging around today
Oh,
Hey!
I don't even have that.
and found this.
Nice.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
And
Where do you get that?
Discogs.
20 years
From
ago.
us, circa 2001.
Yeah, at some point I had a bunch in a tub, but I think I sold them.
Oh, that's the beautiful man.
Freaking A, man.
I might have ripped it Apple Music today when I found it
Very nice.
to share with
Does that
everyone.
mean
here.
that, hypothetically speaking, I could obtain a copy and listen to it as well?
Oh, it's out there. It
Okay.
is.
Yes.
That song is not on Apple Music, but there are other. Yeah.
We've got how many? We've got 8 songs, man.
That
And-
piece of crap guitar tone, though. Oh, my gosh.
There's more where that came from, and I thought it
Uh-huh.
needed to be shared tonight. Yeah.
Do you have the other CD that was like the little mini CD, Jared?
The Heartbreak EP.
Yeah. I don't know. That one was special.
I'm pretty sure that's what I have on my iPod Nano that I need to find a charger for.
Or you like the 30 pin, like the really long one.
That's the one you had. No, I know I have that one on an iPod Nano, but I don't know where the charger is to it. I found the Nano in a drawer today. I was looking around for things because I also
might
found
have one, man.
Yeah, I was gonna say I might as well.
If I got a charger for a Nano, I'll send it your way.
We also have this.
Getting serious now.
I've never even seen that in my life.
Wow.
No, Lert's got like a storage facility worth of them in his house.
I can hook you up, Pritchett.
Oh, good. I mean, I have recordings of it, but that's okay. I don't even think I have anything to play a CD on anymore.
Dude, by far the strangest recording experience of my entire life.
I'm glad I could be part of that.
So good.
We'll get some. Can we stop now?
No.
Oh yeah, we gotta hear the Earth come in.
That's right. You gotta get these vocals.
I gotta hear Earth vocals.
Here they come.
Open up that pit.
Get in there. And then
That was flashbacks.
I love the lyrics here.
Oh,
This is what I enjoy.
So
The
good.
lyrics of this are epic.
Put on your party hat. The celebration has begun. On the wall,
my favorite.
we have lost, and the ones who have died. So you cry, so you moan, left all alone, leave all alone. So you cry, so you moan, left all alone, leave all alone.
Put on your party hat. The celebration
Put
is
on your
begun,
party hat.
guys.
Done, sir.
Yep.
And then we got
Oh,
dual
yeah.
vocals. Dual vocals coming in.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
This might be my favorite on there.
I do enjoy this song.
Guess that vocalist when he shows up here.
I waited till I saw your eyes before I pulled the trigger. I shot your heart out. This is only a mercy killing. This is only 'cause I love you. I'm bored of all the ages. Burned at the sake of popularity. Not good enough for your friends. You're missing your simple self-image content.
And then the final track.
Fantastic.
Oh, there's one more. Where are you going?
You got them
The
all.
Final
low
track.
end is like really there. I love that because I hate when you get like a recording like that and like you're like can't hear enough with the bass. You know?
It's a little John Pritchett.
Oh yeah, this one's fun.
The weight is on your lips and the burden on your back. If Brian can you smiling while you drown, laughing at the bottom squad, death is knocking at your door.
You gotta
That's
play
So-
the gang vocal part at the end.
Yeah,
The
just
little
play the
gang
end
vocals
part.
at the
Yeah,
end.
that's
Wait, let me get it.
This is love. This is treason. This smells like arson. This is love. This is treason. This smells like arson. This is love. This is treason. This smells like arson.
So good.
Smells like what?
Great.
horse.
Arson.
Yeah, so-
Okay.
It's hardcore band. It's a hardcore band.
So,
Yeah.
Flip,
Of course, naturally.
Yeah, that was my only recording experience. But you mentioned it was the oddest recording experience of your life. You should give a brief synopsis of what that looked like, because most of the guys on this podcast have been in a studio, so they would probably get a kick out of that.
to pause for a second before we go there, just so people understand what they're listening to. Because all of us, well, I don't even know if all of us know. But first, do we have the express verbal consent from the members of Mob Boss to play your music on our podcast? Get a verbal nod.
Well, you're our manager, right? You
Yes.
should have
You are
addressed
the
that ahead
Okay,
of time.
sweet. See, I set this promo opportunity up for the band to get things restarted. But
Do y'all need to? What's that thing y'all do? Timeout.
Yeah.
Do a
Timeout. Do we discuss legality and business? Yeah, time back in. So
yeah, I was gonna say we gotta say time in though.
to make
Otherwise,
sense
you
of
get a
this,
2-minute episode.
That's right. Since listeners can't see what I held up, which were CDs, kids, they're a thing you used to listen to that you had to carry them around in a binder and put them into a machine, and that's how you listen to music. But we heard the music initially of Casting Shadows and then of Mob Boss. We have members of both of those bands with us today. So I think just to be clear of who we have Dr. John Pritchett, member of both, right?
Yes.
We've got David, Philip Pig,
Yes,
member
please.
of both, right?
Yep.
Got Adam Eford, member of Mob Boss. The Reverend Dr. David Calvert, member of Casting Shadows. And then, of course, Dr. Ert, member,
Dr.
vocalist, lyricist, extraordinaire frontman of Mob Boss. So these were college bands, right?
Humbled.
So the connection is we all went to college. All of us who aren't normally on the podcast went to college together, and they were in bands. I was just around. But before you share your recorded experience, Flip, I want to hear the initial take reaction, the review from Kevin, Petey, and Dick Broaddus of Casting Shadows and Mob Boss.
It goes hard, as the kids say. It's it's Brock Dennis approved.
That kicks ass. Yeah, it's great.
Okay, there you go. All right, so
He's
that's
a
our
hardcore
man.
expert too.
Yeah,
hardcore expert Brock
Ask
Dennis.
me how much I know. I know enough
understand.
to say that it's great.
You know several of the hardcore bands.
I do. I've heard of this core. That's very hard.
He goes to hardcore festivals, so
Right.
Yep. Stamp of approval.
Yeah, no, I like it. Like I said, I like that you can like really hear like the low end, like the bass doesn't really get mixed in with everything. So like you can actually hear what the bass player is playing when it's not playing the exact same thing as the guitar. I like that.
And I guess you guys should tell him what you did in the bands,
Yeah, please.
right?
Okay. I Flip played bass. That's me. I played bass in both bands.
And vocals on
And
track
vocals.
3.
Yes.
I heard some vocals in there. Yeah.
100% totally forgot that I sang on that song.
By your reaction.
So we do around here. We revive old memories.
Good.
Yeah.
John played guitars.
No vocals.
Shocker.
There you go.
I think I was part of the gang vocal, but
Yeah,
I
we're.
hope so.
that doesn't really count.
It does count.
Yeah.
Totally
It's on a
counts.
recording. That makes you legit.
Yeah. I'm Adam. I play drums in Mob Boss.
Nice.
Dave, me or you?
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard you introduce me already while I was out, but yeah, I sang and played guitar and Casting Shadows with Flip and John. And then I tried to play electric guitar a little bit. I stole Flip's Les Paul every once in a while, and it was pretty terrible. So mostly just acoustic guitar for me.
Nice.
And Ert was vocalist for Mob Boss.
And I think it's important to point out that Mob Boss was not originally called Mob Boss.
It was not.
And they
Yep.
came later. But the whole thing started out, and it was actually called Project Ert. And we had a sole mission. There was no seriousness to this band. We were like, let's put a band together and have Ert front it so that we can get him a date.
That's
100%.
That was the project.
100%.
The project.
The band did really great.
And the amazing thing behind it was, I mean, I had ridiculous musicians behind me. John has, written and composed things through high school, and Flip has done the same. And then Adam has been a musician all his life as well. So I just had to keep up. And I had been involved in music my entire life. And so as long as I just didn't make them look bad, it was great.
It got him off the couch. Much appreciated.
They do that.
Ert famously spent some time on the couch in the apartment.
I'm on one right now.
Natural habitat.
Not the couch.
Natural
though.
habitat.
No.
Kicking it old school.
So to be clear, the couch. So this is me with my grandfather as a baby. That couch that became our college apartment couch, and Ert and it became one.
We did. We bonded.
Didn't know where one began and the other ended. No.
Yeah.
I definitely spent days on that thing.
Oh
Yes,
my.
you did.
Yeah, it was bad. But yeah, that couch was amazing. Insanely comfortable. And yeah, it traveled home with me when I graduated. So it lived on for a little while. Then it eventually went to Josh Sloan's house and his dog ate.
Ah, butter.
Yeah. That
So
was
what
the end
was-
of the couch, John.
What was the recording
Had
experience
a
that
good
made it
life.
strange?
Oh, well, I guess let's back up. This is weird because it's become a Project Earth podcast now. But
I'm
no,
the manager. I got to get things
There
done.
you go.
Yeah.
What was crazy is we did start as a joke. We just said like we're just gonna write parts and like if we like it, we're gonna stick it. Like none of the songs made any arrangement sense. Like they are just pieces put together, and everything. But weirdly, we started to get shows, and then we started to get a lot of shows. And like for a summer, we played Ace's Basement, which is this great like scene venue in Greensboro. The guy fell in love with us, and so we played a lot at Ace's Basement, which is crazy because Ace's Basement was the basement of a pay-by-the-hour motel in Greensboro. So
Classy.
Perfect hardcore venue.
sketchy, but it was so good. The venue was so good. But then, so we had a guy who played guitar with us for a while. His name was York, and he lived in Greensboro. And Eford, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was like a friend of York's, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing that starts out making it weird is I had I didn't know who this guy was. I don't think any of us did, but it was like, hey, you're going to come to his house in this city that's like 3 hours away from where you live, at least from where I was living, and set up in his basement. And then you're just going to play these songs, but not all of us could be there. So it was just, who was there? That was it me, Eford, and Ert? Was it just us?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
So
Yeah.
bass, drums, and vocals playing hardcore music.
Did you have scratch guitars?
I don't even know if we
I
had.
don't
I think it was just,
think we
I think it was
did.
just bass,
We did
drums,
not.
vocals.
Bass, drums, vocals. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
so
why the
you're-
bassists mix so well, Kevin. Because
Exactly.
That's all they had.
That's all,
Yeah.
It was the scratch track.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, that was literally like pieced off scratch tracks.
yeah. And so it's just this dude's basement in King, North Carolina, like this small town with Cubase, which if you know anything about recording, like nobody uses Cubase. And we did it in a day, and then we drove back, and I never went back. And then John went and did his guitars, and that was it. Like it was just the strangest, most, I guess, appropriate hardcore way to record a record at the time.
But it sounded decent.
And then about a day later, Adam says, "Hey, I have tracks."
Yeah, you have the
We're like,
files.
"What?"
So it isn't Ace
Yeah.
of Base covers at Ace's Basement. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
It's just I saw the sign.
As you do.
Was that all 2004?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I
it
remember
would've
it. I
been-
was
yeah,
finishing
yeah.
pharmacy school at the time.
Yeah, and I was living in Wilmington. Because I would. So when we played Greensboro, like we usually played on Sunday nights, and I would have church. Like I would go set up at our church. We were mobile, and so I would like set up at like 6 a.m, and I would play 2 services or whatever, get done, eat lunch, and then I would pack my car and drive 3 hours to play a show till like midnight or so, and then I would drive home, and then get up and go to work in the morning, which now
Yeah.
sounds absolutely horrendous.
And you were married,
Yep.
but you didn't have any kids. So
Correct.
that's what you do.
You can do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was pissed because the emergence of Project Earth / Mob Boss was coincided with the death of Casting Shadows. It's like the band that I was in. I'm like,
Ert killed
guys,
your band.
why can't we play shows anymore, you jerks? But it's because they were doing hardcore shows.
Can't do
And I
both,
was just doing the worship leading thing. So that's not as cool.
You can open up that pit there.
Casting Shadows is the band that beat the Showdown, right? In the
Well, yeah.
in the Battle
Yeah.
of the Bands.
We did beat
Correct.
the showdown.
But that just gave Flip and John a taste of the hardcore scene. Like they knew that was the right way to go.
The gateway drug.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't like the 10 years before that we had been going to shows and been in bands that gave us
No.
a taste. It was
No, it's when they saw the showdown and we beat them. They're like, "Ooh, let's
can
get
do this.
Ert. Screw Calvert. Get Ert up here now."
I love you, Dave.
I know.
But yeah, they that was quite an interesting experience recording in that manner, especially when I found out the more traditional way people record, and I was like, "Oh, we did none of that."
That's how we do this podcast.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly how we do it.
Wait, people have a show format? What?
An organization. I just know I went to one Mob Boss Project Earth show, and it was in like a strip mall. I don't remember where. What town was that?
It was in Apex.
It
was
wasn't
that
Apex.
Crossroads?
I think so.
Yep.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And
Okay.
oh, that's when Sean played guitar for us. They're like one show that
Yeah.
he played guitar with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Matt Bankert came down. So we're like throwing out all these things you guys have no frame of reference for. I apologize.
You're good. You're good.
Because I graduated that spring, so y'all got going and I was gone.
Yeah. Well, so John and I started in the same pharmacy class, and I spent too much time on the couch and backed up a year.
That couch.
So, the couch is comfortable. But so he was ahead of me. So I had basically a spare year while I was catching up, because I was only doing like a half schedule semester. So I had time where I was like able to contact venues, and they're like, "Yeah, sure, come on." And yeah, we were getting in, and we had gained a lot of steam right there. And then he had graduated. I was actually starting my rotations. Dave was in Wilmington. Adam, I think you graduated that year too.
Probably.
And yeah, we had gotten an invitation to like play a bigger venue in Raleigh at the brewery. And I was like, man, I know we've been lobbying for this for like years, but we're all gone, man. We can't do it. I wish I could say yes to this, but that was kind of the end of it right there. Was right when we got our invitation to play the spot we wanted, we were like, oh man, we're way too far out. So we just let it go from there.
Until Furnace Fest 2025, because that's where bands go to come back to life.
That is where they are revived.
That's what we want to see happen. So I mean, maybe this is where this podcast is where that begins. But for the next iteration of Furnace Fest, we think there should be some sort of variant of the generator stage, and I think it would make a lot of sense for maybe a Casting Shadows Project Earth mashup to occur. Just to get you up there, Calvert.
Yeah, no, I'll do the clean vocals. Flip, you just play bass. That's fine.
Sounds great. Sounds really great, actually.
Just turn it into Ertness Fest.
It's not the worst idea I've heard today. Ertness Fest.
Partner that with Brockfest.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say Brock's got.
I've had my turn. No, I think I'll bring the generator and let's do this.
I don't need permission, just a generator.
Well, he could always be like the guy who was playing out of his trailer this year
That's
everybody
true.
was leaving.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, that was Fox Bat.
Yeah, Fox
handing out
Bat.
stuff.
Yeah.
They were good. Like I listened to their stuff. It was pretty.
I did
pretty
too. You
jamming.
give out some sunglasses, and that'll get people to listen.
And a satchel.
That's right.
I'm imagining like if we did set up some sort of thing, like who's going to complain about noise at a hardcore festival, right? Like it's as long as you're not like right next to another stage, easily done.
Right.
Yep.
You should just right to the right side of the
It's
gate.
a great idea. Set up on the bridge.
Like right
On
there
top
under
of
the bridge.
Yep.
And then we'll hire William to come be our security guy.
Yes.
Find him, pull him
He
out of
likes you.
There you
retirement.
go.
Yeah. He was a good guy.
I just remember the cover song that we did as Mob Boss, Danger Zone.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Ooh.
And I had
Great.
about 1 second of harsh vocals that I did on that one,
Good. It was hot.
just for like a second. Yep.
Isn't that on the DVD?
It is.
It is on the
Yeah.
DVD.
It's on the DVD, yeah.
Yeah.
We wrote a lot of music that was inspired by war themes and 80s
Sure.
movies. So like, Red Dawn was a big source of inspiration. And then yeah, obviously the Top Gun thing. And then The Patriot came out around that time. So our main hit song was Give Them the Bayonet. And
It was.
that was a crowd favorite because there was a part where everything was stopped and everybody screamed, "Give them the bayonet!" And mayhem ensued. It was amazing.
You open up that pit, yeah.
We did open up the pit occasionally.
Yeah, for everyone to know, the song names that we listen to snippets of are number 1, track 1, Charlatan Smiles. Track 2, Day of the Dead. Put your party hat on. Track 3, Ambush at Dawn. And track 4, Velvet Gloves the Iron Fist. These are good names.
Velvet Glove versus
the Iron Fist.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's not how it imported from the CD.
Shocker.
Yeah.
Sad.
I'm sorry.
Fun little bit of drumming lore from that first track that you played, Charlatan Smiles. That was in 2004. I've had a version of that drum beat that I've played in every band, regardless of genre, since 2004. With every musical project I've done, I've repeated that drum beat in some way, shape, or form.
I like it.
It's your Easter egg.
I keep a
Nice.
theme
Easter egg.
going throughout all the years. For 20 years, I've kept it going.
That drum beat
That's
can
funny,
drink.
Adam.
I feel like that's
Drumming
you putting
lore.
on your party hat.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were pretty good for the amount of effort we put into it. I think we were pretty good.
It was none.
Cost benefit analysis, like
Yeah.
not much cost, and I think we were pretty good. So,
But I think it goes like just thinking like bigger picture, 20 some years ago, like it's just amazing to think that like there were environments that you could do that. Like you could just be a band and people, you could go play in a basement or you could go play in a church's fellowship hall or whatever. And there's obviously still some venues like that, but just I think all the time, especially Furnace Fest bringing back a lot of these bands. Like I just think about growing up going to shows as a teenager and then into my 20s and like how, I mean, I guess nostalgia is a drug, right? But it was like how crazy and awesome it was to just be like, I can show up anywhere and there's a show, or I could go to this. I mean, one of my first hardcore shows I saw in the back of an irrigation warehouse because one of my friends was putting it on, and I stood on a forklift, and just like, but it was just like, and then you could get in bands and there were places to play. Like it wasn't a lot of work to get out there and do it.
Right.
Like I think like how hard it would have to be now to do, like to be in a band and get shows. Like I just can't imagine.
Or if you even think about like just the logistical side of Furnace Fest, organizing that. Ooh,
Yep.
fun.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
Yep. No thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, it was very DIY back then. I feel like nowadays you kind of have to know people who work at venues or do booking or things like that, and I think for a band without connections it's harder to sort of just jump right in and book stuff. But if you have connections, it's a lot easier. But back in the day, community centers, like random places, skate parks, warehouses, basements, all those places were just people would put shows together.
Range halls.
Yeah.
We played one show that was up on like the third floor of some building. Like I don't even remember what town it was in, but I just remember like having to lug all the amps up all these flights of stairs up to the third floor. It was, I think there was a restaurant on the ground level, then it was like apartments, and then the third floor, for whatever reason, there was like some sort of like community center up on the third floor. I was like, man, I would hate to be the people in the apartments below this as we're just making horrendous noise.
On Hillsborough Street in Raleigh, where NC State's campus is, there was a building that had a second-story bowling alley. Like it was mostly parking deck underneath, but then part of the bowling alley was also like a little venue. It was probably like 50 people that could fit in there in a stage. And I played there with one of my bands in high school, and it was so weird because you hear the bowling happening in between songs, but like then you start playing and like all you can hear is just the wall of sound in this little room. And it was just like such a random place to have a venue, but it was super fun and memorable.
I love those kind of things like that. Those little venues that you just
Yeah.
wouldn't usually play at, but you'll never forget.
There was one in Wilmington and Flip. Well, you guys, all you North Carolinians probably remember the Soapbox.
Oh yeah.
And what was
Oh,
the
yeah.
deal? It was a laundromat slash
Laundromat.
venue.
Yeah, it was a laundromat slash a bar slash venue, and by venue it was a stage shoved in the corner of the first floor.
But like people would literally be
Yeah.
in there doing their laundry, and we're there seeing, like He Is Legend in their early stages play and stuff. And I think we saw some bands that were bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Dave's Acre there or something like that. I
remember
I'm probably
seeing
starting to make
Embodiment
stuff
there.
up.
I know
we saw Embodiment.
Definitely
We saw Embodiment.
We saw
Yeah.
them like a million times.
I don't know. I played a show in 2003. I filled in for a friend's band on bass for one show at the Soapbox, and we opened for Beloved, and so
wow.
I got to see them. But yeah, literally the stages. I mean, we had to stand. I had to stand like with my back against the wall, facing like the rest of the band because the stage was too small to stand like width wise. But then in a similar thing, it got big. Kevin, to like we were talking about the upper floor, it took up the third floor of the building, and they had this nice venue, and it was really great. But it eventually had to close because all the neighbors like just railed because of all the noise.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you'd have to lug everything up upstairs. It was nuts. But yeah, the Soapbox was fun. It was the venue for a long time.
It was called the Soapbox Laundro Lounge.
Laundro
right?
Lounge, yeah. Yep. It was it became a Waffle House, and now it's shut down. But
Hey, if it wasn't for lugging gear upstairs, Flip, we may have never met.
That 100% true.
I'm sure we would have eventually, but on freshman day, so kind of like given the background of a lot of this group, for me, the beautiful man, Dave Calvert, Flip, and we were all freshmen together at Campbell's. This was in 1999, and on move-in day, I come rolling in with 2 4x12 cabinets, like a 5150 and a Marshall, carrying them up to my dorm room on the 3rd floor and up like the fire escape stairs, and made some good friends that day some of them are here right now. It's a beautiful thing.
That's awesome.
Great how music connects, and that just became such a we talk about spending time playing in bands and everything, but then we just traveled to shows all the time. I feel like that's what we did, all the time, just going around doing that. And I don't know, at some point, I guess we're going to talk about Furnace Fest and our experiences and all that. But yeah, it was just so amazing to be able to relive this with these guys. And Freeze, your thing you said on one of the other podcasts about what Furnace Fest meant to you, it resonated in such a way, because I mean on this right here, like I've got new friends in you guys doing the pickle thing, and then my college buddies here who are like crazy to think about how we've been friends for like 25 years at this point. But it gave us a chance to go and do something that we did so much back then, and it meant so much. We, had such great friendships come out of it. And then, you're not just like, it's not just nostalgia. It's like just picking right up where we left off, which is what's so crazy. I mean, Ert, I don't think I'd seen you when we did Furnace Fest. I don't know that I'd actually seen you since your wedding. Like it had been
a
but
minute.
it was like no time
Yeah.
passed. Like we just went right back into it. And, oh, it was amazing.
I think we're ready to talk about Furnace Fest.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Yeah, jump in.
Let's go there.
That was going to be my second drinking game.
Do you have like a game for us to play, or are we supposed to do you have topics for us? Or...
Well, you're starting to talk about Furnace Fest, so
Feeling some pressure
Your
now.
topic is
Jeez.
Furnace Fest. Go.
Yeah.
we've talked every episode about it.
Yeah.
I know that's what keeps us coming. Well, I mean, everything that keeps us coming back, your hijinks and your squid talk and all. But yeah, the Furnace Fest talk is very special to us for sure.
Oh, for sure. I think that's what binds us all together for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm a big nerd in multiple
Yes.
ways.
Facts.
One of the ways is in theology. So like I've been to big conferences with theologians, like both the academic side and the more pop side, like the Gospel Coalition and ETS and SBL. And like you go to these giant things and you see a bunch of people that ostensibly are like you. And my first couple experiences, like I definitely felt home-ish. Like I knew that I could drop some dumb church historian name and that random dude drinking coffee would know who I'm talking about. And like, so we would have rapport. And so there's a kind of like a camaraderie in that. But I've also been to Star Wars Celebration because I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. And I dragged my wife to Florida when they were down there in the 2010, 2012. And like Star Wars Celebration was amazing. Again, like I'm in a room or a giant room with like all these people and we all know the same nerdy things, like super deep level, deep cuts about Star Wars stuff. And like we can argue about the editing process that went into the special editions, all whatever, like random things. And so there's again, like a camaraderie there that was like a felt thing when I'm in that space. But the Furnace Fest camaraderie was yet another level to me. And so like, I don't have any tattoos yet. That's on my to-do list. It's on my bucket list. So I don't have any tattoos.
Design it together, Dave.
I know. I have one, I have one little piercing, but not a legit piercing. It's just a earring. And then, but I've listened to, the ginormous spectrum of music that includes all the different genres that are represented at Furnace Fest. And so when I heard that Beloved was going to resurrect to play the first one, I was like super nerding out about it. My wife was like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Honey, they haven't played a freaking show in forever. I never got to see them." And I'm like, and I'm like, "But it's going to be in Birmingham." And like, there's no way. And then when it got bumped because of COVID, my wife surprised me for my 40th birthday with tickets to go to Furnace Fest.
That's awesome.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, honey, this is amazing." And so, yeah, then I went and we coordinated to go with Jared and Flip and John and Ert, and like, it was awesome. Because again, like going into that space, even though I don't look the part necessarily, I felt completely at home the whole time. Whether it would be on the edge of a pit or, chilling against the wall for an emo band, like whatever space I was in, like I never felt othered. I always felt at home. And so like, even at, these giant theology conferences, like sometimes I'll feel a little othered because I'm maybe not as conservative as some of the dudes that are there. Or I go to the Star Wars thing and like, I'm not in costume, so I'm not going to cosplay. So like, there's another level of people that I'm a little othered by. Right. I don't mind looking at them and taking a picture with them, but I'm not going to do that thing. But at Furnace Fest, like, and in no space did I feel othered. Even when you nerds did VIP, I didn't feel left out. I didn't feel othered by that. I felt
left out.
Oh yeah, you didn't.
Amen, Brock.
You didn't even know we were there, Brock.
Those bathrooms are worth it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
That's right.
So that to me was such a unique and powerful part of the memory that I'll have for. So I went to the first one and the last one, and yeah, had the same like kind of visceral experience of feeling connected with all the folks that are there.
That's awesome.
There's something in that too, that like a lot of the bands that were part of Furnace Fest, a lot of them had North Carolina roots. And so a bunch of them,
You hear that,
we
Pete?
saw them.
I heard it.
We saw them come together. Yeah. And,
Mark it on the bingo card.
good friends with a lot of the Heath Legend guys and Beloved. And like, I came down, I was, not from far away. I was in Virginia, but back then, like the scenes were very different. And so when I was in high school, it was very much like the New York hardcore kind of stuff is what we were into, like Hatebreed. I mentioned Division of Disorder earlier, Madball, that kind of tough guy thing. When I came to North Carolina and met like Flip in particular, introduced me to this kind of just a different thing. But we really got into those, and that's part of what made Furnace Fest so special too. It's like, not only is it hanging out with our buds, but it's like these are these bands that were, we knew them like personally, and for them to come together just to play a couple shows, it was like, it was amazing and very, I guess, vindicating. I don't know if that's the right word, but yeah, it was a homecoming in a lot of ways for that stuff.
Yeah, I think that especially the first year. I mean, I went to 3 years and they were all great, but I think especially that first year, because you're just sort of you don't know what to expect. Like you're just like, what is this thing going to be? I never went to any of the first, in 2000 to 2004. I had friends that played it, but so you just don't know what to expect. But I think first year, man, it was just like that wave of like, wow, like I said earlier, like there was something special about a time period. And again, like nostalgia can cloud some of it, but like there was something kind of special about this, call it 10, 15 years, right? Mid 90s to mid 2000s of music where you were seeing bands that were, heavy like Zayo, or pick another one, but you could also in the same bill, you're seeing a band like Stavesacre or I don't know, pick another one. Like there was this mashup because there was nowhere else for them to go, and so you were seeing them, and then to get this event where they're sort of all under one roof again was like a reminder of like, oh, this is what it was like when I was 16, 18, 20 something, and then to do it with my friends who we had done so much together was incredible. And then, to John's point, because they were from North Carolina, I'm born and raised in North Carolina. Like, some of these people were legit my friends. Like I've known the guys in He Is Legend since they weren't He Is Legend and they were in high school, and Beloved, I've known those guys since they were in high school. Code 7, like all those sort of North Carolina bands. And so I think I even told John one day we were walking around one of the first year, one of the days, and I was like, I had forgotten how much North Carolina was represented in this scene in this period of time and how influential it was. So that was pretty incredible. And it's the like Calvert said, the space that's created. I just got that memory of like, in a way that it really shouldn't be, the hardcore punk emo scene is so accepting and so, of different purviews and point of views and all that. And I felt safer at hardcore shows where people are punching each other than at some larger events that I've been to, that were theoretically safer, and my oldest is like, she's into music. She's not necessarily into my music. Every now and then I can get her with a song. She enjoys Bill Murray from time to time, which I will take. But she's like I took her to see her first show, like at a club of this band that she likes. And it was really fun to be like, oh, this is what it's like. And this is how you kind of have to handle yourself. And this is what how you navigate in those environments. And now she's like, I just want to go to another show. I don't even care if I like the band. I want to go to one of your shows. Like, I think it'd be awesome. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, I'll figure out the right one for a 15-year-old girl to go to. But it's cool. Like, we'll figure it out. I show her videos of Furnace Fest and she thinks people stage diving is like the coolest thing. Like, she's like, that just looks like so much fun. And so it's one of those things you like stop and think back and you're like, oh, I take it for granted that this is like something that's cool and fun and, kind of non-threatening to me, because it looks threatening to a lot of people on the outside. But I just think Furnace Fest, and to have been done so well over the last 4 years, it really one of the best run events that I've ever been to. And best experience for a thing its size. I don't know. It was just all that combined. You're like, man, this is pretty special.
I think for me, it was like a homecoming almost. Like, I started going to shows when I was like in the 8th, 9th grade. And I think my first show that I ever went to was at Tremont Music Hall in Charlotte. And it was Prayer for Cleansing, which played Furnace Fest at one point, but Prayer for Cleansing's last show. And there was Undying, another band from Raleigh that played it. And then I believe it was like Hope's Fall and Stretch Armstrong as well. And then I want to say Hatebreed was like the big headliner that night. And that was my first show I ever went to. So I went to tons of shows when I was in high school and then college. Nice. And John Shirt right there. Yeah. And MXPX Hatebreed, that whole thing was my life, like 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade. But post college and post like playing with Mob Boss, I kind of just left the hardcore emo music world for a while, and I sort of went into alt country, Americana, bluegrass for years. and played in a bunch of bands along those lines, like a lot of hardcore kids eventually do. It seems like a lot of, at least in North Carolina, a lot of the musicians from that era ended up playing kind of Americana stuff. But I really had gotten out of that until Furnace Fest was announced in like 2019, 2020, whenever it was supposed to be. And then it was sort of like a homecoming back into that and sort of a reconnection with that music. And it also helped me kind of realize that I was from a really small town in North Carolina, like 800 people, one stoplight, and driving 45 minutes to Charlotte to shows in high school. I really credit it now for what opened my world up. And I learned like, oh, there's people who are vegan. Oh, there's people who are straight edge. Like, learn all these different like perspectives and viewpoints. And I actually, looking back, credit the music scene that I was into in high school for opening my world up and giving me new perspectives and seeing that, there was more out there than my small town. And so in a way, like Furnace Fest was sort of the reunion, coming back around to realizing all those things about my life that I think was really cool. And to me, like, that's the biggest thing I've gotten out of it. Yeah, like it's great seeing Beloved and Hopes Fall and all these bands again, and some of the ones that haven't played in 18 years. But it's more just the perspective that it's given me on my own life, like to look back and think of like how something is, what may be silly to some is just a music scene, actually affected my entire life after that. So yeah, it's more than just a festival for some crazy reason. So
It's a lot of connection. Like Jared, my first concert was also Carmen, so we have that in common. But growing up, growing up, I listened to just like the oldie station from my dad. So just a lot of like old Motown and things like that.
Yep.
And then when I got in high school, it was mostly hip hop. And that continued through high school. And that's what I was listening to when I met these guys. And then I met John, and John's like, yeah, man, check this out. So I checked this out. And then Dave's like, hey, we're going to see these guys live. You want to go? And I'm like, sure, I ain't doing anything. So why not? And then, there we go. Just takes off from there. But the music was the connection, but the real connection was in the people. And Furnace Fest brought back that connection, like Adam said, through all those people. And exactly like Adam said, I met so many different people from so many exposures of life through this scene.
Right.
And, I didn't grow up in as a small town as Adam, but I had that mindset. And had I not been in that scene, I don't think I would have developed that level of like just inclusive thought and understanding for people in general had I not gone through that. Furnace Fest brings those crowds together. And it's pure harmony. Everything exists in pure harmony. It's magic in the way it just kind of happens. There can be issues, but issues get sorted out.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing I thought that was just kind of magical about Furnace Fest was coming out of COVID. Like Adam too, when we quit playing music, I kind of quit listening to heavy stuff in general.
Boo.
Yeah, I know.
It happens, man.
But, yeah, it does happen. But so yeah, when they announced it, I started listening to my old stuff. But I think like with COVID, a lot of us, we had lost that human connection. And I can pinpoint a specific moment during the very first festival. We're all at Comeback Kid, and they're playing Wake the Dead. And I can tell you exactly in that moment, it felt like, okay, y'all, we're out of this pandemic. We're back in a connected human environment. It's okay to live life.
Awesome.
And that was the moment. And I was just like, all right, y'all, it's go time. All right, let's go have fun.
Probably caught the spirit man in the pit.
I might have.
Handed me your stuff and disappeared.
Yeah. Jared typically gets my stuff when I catch the spirit and disappear.
I got some of it. I got some of it this last year.
You did.
Don't have a spare pocket.
Yeah, you're handing me your bag.
Got to be careful. Don't want to lose the phone.
No.
I mean, I think even the connection thing, like John was saying, all of us have been friends for 25 years now. But I mean, we don't all we lived varying degrees away from each other for a while. It's just recently that we're sort of mostly in proximity. But it felt like the first year too for us as guys who were in bands or just friends. I mean, I don't know. We talk now more than we've talked in probably the last 20 years. Like we do. I mean, just because we have a text thread and we have, we've had connection and all that. And I thought about it the other day. I was like, man, I'm really grateful that I'm talking to these guys again. Not because there was nothing between us. We could all pick up where we left off. It's just life happens. But because of a festival, we now again are like interacting with each other and being dumb or not dumb or whatever the moment calls for.
Bunch of VIP douchebags.
Right. I did not get the VIP.
I was not.
Flip
No.
and I are true hardcore kids.
DIY.
That's our side thread.
Up for that.
I should be a part of that club.
That was
You were
the
real
side thread this year.
DIY. You just snuck in. Come on, you jumped the fence. No wristband.
That's true.
Not so proud of
Poser. I have to say that 3-chord Furnace Fest bourbon tastes better when you're talking about Furnace Fest, because I went through the first bottle of this and was kind of nonplussed. So I thought this is pretty great. So thank you guys for making this special. What are folks' thoughts on and I don't know if y'all talked about this already on the cast, but the Furnace Fest Year 5. We have not come to a consensus
Sore subject
whether we're all going or not.
Interesting.
It's been kind of, and I think we're all sort of like, I think the thing that really sold us on it was that all the bands we wanted to see that, reformed just for the event, I don't really plan much. And not knowing, I mean, unless anything's been announced, I don't think it has.
It
about
has.
who's playing.
Mhm.
And we're all sort of like, And like, I know for me, like my son turned 16 on the first day. So like, I know I'd be out for that one, but I'd still go for the other two. Like if it was compelling, and I've had such a great time, but also had mentally that like, this is the end of this. Yeah. And so, I don't know. Maybe it's a good spot for us Campbell crew to figure out, are we going again or what are we doing?
Let's work this out, guys.
I've got to see a set list of like who are they trying to pull, because the first year was a gift. This last one was, I pulled the trigger when they announced, at the end of year 3, and the tickets were the cheapest, So I bought that ticket blind, but also my wife is in PA school, and so I bought it not knowing how stressful this might be, willing to take the risk. And it ended up being hecka stressful, like painfully so for my family. And so coming back was very difficult, and we had to readjust. So like, I don't even know she'll be graduated by this time next year, this year when the festival happens, but for it to be worth the potential stress of piecing out for a few days, and because we got 4 kids, like it's not easy. Then I've got to have like a legitimately resurrected band, or like somebody that's on my bucket list that I can make a compelling case for. Otherwise, if it's like,
will Mob Boss suffice?
That would suffice all day long.
If I'm doing clean vocals for Mob Boss, that might be what it is.
If that's what it takes, Calvert, we're good at that.
That's right. So we have a negotiating point.
Well, and the other thing would be like,
we can play back 40.
I tried to make a pitch to the guys from
Mercer.
From Mercer, who are doing the research project on stuff, because I know them from the academic side, and so I was trying to get Nate and Andrew to think about doing some sort of like panel discussion in the back 40 if they're not watching some dumb football game on the giant screen. Like if we take that space and instead have like a panel discussion talking about the impact of the hardcore scene on post-evangelical Christianity, or talking about the hardcore scene and inclusivity or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
there's enough nerds who love beer and theology and philosophy that we can fill the space.
That might
Like,
be one of the
like
best
beer.
attended events at Furnace
and
Fest.
I could then like business expense it. And so then it's an even
There
easier
it is.
sell, right?
There you
Like,
go.
I'm not, it's not
Right.
coming out of our pocket, honey. It's not out of our budget. Like, so
Now you're thinking,
there's-
Dave.
yeah, if there's any
Yes.
way I could pull that off, but I don't know where they're at.
Ert, we could sell drugs and business expense it.
Yes.
Good.
The pop-up pharmacy.
They have names for that.
Pop-up pharmacy.
You have one corner and John has the other corner, and you guys just hold it down.
CVS to go.
Oh God.
Yeah, that would be cool too. That would, I think that, because that would bring back almost the Cornerstone side of
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Because a lot of the times I never went to Cornerstone, but I had a good buddy who would go he was a philosopher, and he would have a bunch of panels every year, and that's how he would go every year. Was that's how he would expense it out, you know,
Yep.
be part of his thing, and he'd go and run a panel or be part of a panel, and they do something in one of the tents every year. You know,
That's
so
cool.
all kinds of stuff happen. I wish I'd gone to Cornerstone, but all kinds of stuff happened in Cornerstone.
I have an idea. I know a guy who is connected to
Well,
a guy who could pull that off.
And just to be clear, Jared, you're talking to Dave about philosophy, not about selling drugs, right? That's
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
We don't condone or promote that if it's illegal. Whatever John and Ert do, we trust that
Well,
they know what they're up
once
to.
once my wife is a PA, then she can write the scripts and they fill them, and then it's all legal, right?
See,
I
you're
haven't sold
selling
a drug
drugs
in
too.
years.
That's how.
We're seeing something here, right? So if somebody goes down to the festival and they're waiting for their prescription, then they got to rush home to get it. No, just have the doctor forward it down, and you guys can take care of it.
No, the secret
Oh,
is
done.
So we could set up like a hydration bar, a hangover relief type thing.
Oh, okay.
We could do,
There was one of
there's no limit.
There's one
to
of
what
those
we
in
could
the
do.
merch mall, isn't there? An IV thing you can get in the merch mall.
Oh, you know what? There was. So they already beat
Yeah,
us to it.
someone's
I'll have
on
to do
there.
something more interesting. Opioid clinic.
The stronger pain medication.
Yes.
We could do the opposite of the hydration.
Yes.
So we're on one side.
dehydration.
Right.
So we'll sell bourbon.
Alcohol straight to the veins. Then you go to the other tent. They get you back running.
The I'm not straight edge tent. No.
In collaboration with 3-Chord Bourbon.
The not so straight edge. Yes.
The come break edge tent.
Yeah.
We'll have tattoo removal. It'll be great.
Root Beer Social Tent will be set up right next to us. It'll be fine.
All the things.
I'll consider going back because I think that connection's always going to be there. Like as
Yeah.
far as like music, there's definitely like 3 or 4 that would like solidify me going back, but they're so far from reality of happening. I don't think they could land. They probably land 1 of the 4, but I don't think they could land those at this point if they haven't already. So I don't think they're going to keep pulling me back for the resurrection. I would go back to definitely hang out with friends and see people
Yeah.
and make connections in the scene as always.
You guys have talked on your cast about the difference in our living quarters when
Yes.
at this festival, and I think that's one of the highlights we discovered. So the first year we went, it was all kind of like piecemealed together. So I think me and Flip and Ert all stayed in a hotel. Like I had a bunch of travel points, so we got like a hotel suite and stayed there. And then Calvert and Jared. You go by Jared on this podcast, not.
You can call me whatever you'd like, sir.
All right.
You're
Well,
a
I
dog.
want people to know who I'm talking about. So they stayed in a hotel, and so then the next year, and year 2 was only me, Ert, and Freeze, and we rented this baller house. I still think it was the best Furnace Fest house we had. I had an actual claw tub that every night after 14 hours of standing, I'd go and just lay in this claw tub, and it was amazing. And so that's kind of like become our thing, is we Airbnb out like a vintage house, and that's just like I'd almost go again, and even if I didn't go to the festival, or I just kind of went in and out while I was there. We just have such a good time. Freeze gets up, and he and again, y'all have talked about this a bit, but I don't think it gets enough credit. Is the pour over coffee that Jared brings is second to none. This guy,
I got to film it. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, hand crushing the beans. He's got a scale where you're weighing the amount of water. And me as a pharmacist who works in a subset of things called compounding, where we formulate things daily. I just nerd out over this.
Sure.
And starting the day with proper coffee is very important. And then some days we start off with bourbon too, which that's fun. And it's just a man, it's such a great time. I think if anything, what would draw me in is more the camaraderie, and the music would be a bonus. And I'd love that for that to be there. But I think the thing we're realizing, like you were just saying, Ert, is like the legacy acts that really pull us in. Like that's what's, there's only so much of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think the hang is the thing now, especially like the first year was different because it was the energy of the music and the bands and all that, but it slowly morphed into that's never been a disappointment, the music, but the hang is better. And then honestly, like because of meeting like the whole mishmash of this group that's on here right now, it gives me even more reason to go back if the more people go back, because we don't geographically live close to one another. And then through doing this podcast, we've gotten to talk to other people who are there that like we didn't know as well. So now I'm kind of excited. I'm like, we keep talking to people who are going to be there. We'll have so many more people to hang out with and talk to.
Yeah.
We got a living legend here, Brock Dittus. So I mean, that's
right.
He's got to come back because he's our mascot.
Dude, I think we get an even bigger house, and you guys come and participate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In that, there's
a big house I can lay on the floor of. Absolutely.
You can play football in our big house.
Well, you know what, Brock? There's a big house with lots and lots of room.
Yeah.
Is there a big table?
Lots of
food.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there a big yard?
There's not a yard. No, there's not a big yard.
Okay, so we're still in negotiations.
Big
then.
porch though. Big porch.
There was a house one year that we were.
Does it belong to your father?
No, he's not a real estate mogul.
It's a father of sorts.
Yeah, a father, perhaps. There was a house we were going to get one year that was made for hosting like 20 people. You guys remember this? And it had like pool tables, and it had a jukebox and records and all this stuff. Yeah, but it had sleeping berths. So it's like you had this, it's like a crypt or something. I don't know. It was almost like berths on a tour bus, but up against the wall. And there were like 6 beds in these little pods you would go in. And it's made just to house a big group. Maybe we could find that again and get these dudes up in there.
I've already booked a hotel suite, different location, so it will not be as steamy. But
less steamy.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, even without knowing who's playing, I just booked it. Like as soon as they said they were coming back, I'm like, I'm just gonna grab a room. I can always cancel if I decide I'm not going.
Or if you get a better offer.
There you go.
Do you guys? So y'all all stayed in a room. Did y'all share beds?
No.
Because I was very curious. Like that's one thing we never entertained. Like everybody had to have their own bed.
Why are you curious about this, John?
Because I'm wondering if they actually went there or not. And I have no concern if you did. I'm just like, I think the last time I did that was a band we played in went to Panama City, and me and our drummer shared a bed at one point. This was still in college.
Hold on, you shared a California King. That's like 2 beds.
Oh, dude, it was massive. Yeah, Flip came and jumped on the bed and landed in between us and came nowhere close.
Nowhere near you.
Yeah, it was the least sharing of bed sharing one could imagine. But yeah, so what did you guys do? Did you did you draw straws for who got the bed and people slept on the floor? Did Brock
I showed up
sleep
last.
in the bathroom?
And I mean, I brought an air mattress thinking that somebody could have an air mattress, but I ended up on an air mattress. Yeah, I was going to play the second oldest card, but I ended up not. So, so I ended up on the air mattress, but that was fine. I mean, it worked out all right. And then the other 2 had the beds, and then Brock came last, and he laid down all of his final records. and then slept on that. Yeah,
I'd say legend has it Brock slept on vinyl.
yeah. Those
Wow.
He
crates of
doesn't
vinyl he
travel
brought
without
in.
it. Yeah.
Those were his
Right.
box springs, and then he had his sleeping mat on top of that. It was
When you're a celebrity of his stature, you can have that delivered ahead of time. Your vinyl bed.
You know,
Yes.
the Brogdidus fame could be problematic for our house if there's a lot of people want to
won't-
come visit.
we won't drop any pins. You're good.
Morning
No
to
Yeah.
night,
pins.
people
Right.
lined up out the door.
We're gonna have 3 different vehicles, and then one is gonna veer off at the end and just wait, and then that's gonna have all the fandom follow him, and then we're gonna all leave, or the guy's gonna come out. Brock's not in there. They're all gonna go off sadly, and then they'll come back to the house. So everything, I've got it all figured out.
We should consider getting a body double.
We could sell a VIP meet and greet and recoup some of our expenses here. You know?
That I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
Just pay for the house.
There you go.
The Brock package. It's a separate wristband.
One lucky fan.
Stop talking about Brock's package.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to. I don't
But
think
we're
you're allowed
totally
to sell
gonna
that.
monetize Brock's package. Yeah.
That's the no-no
His
square.
angle.
Little merch booth with like mustaches you can buy.
and just like wooden Brogdiduses with a place for the vinyl record.
Oh yeah.
This has legs. Forget the drug tent. I'm doing the Brock tent.
All right. As a business strategy, I feel compelled to assist.
Oh, and only in the left hand. Only in the.
Yeah. Yeah. Left ear.
Oh no, for you it's because you're left-handed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right then.
Holding the record. There you go.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Before I bounce, because I've got to go do the dishes. I was going to share my Carowinds Darren King story.
Yes, do
Ooh.
it.
So
MuteMath corner. Come on
guys,
over.
get over
Come
there.
on over, Brock.
Yeah.
Come on over.
You guys are
I'm in.
growing. How is this
I'm right
happening?
Here we are.
The Earth Suit was playing their final year.
Yep.
They hadn't like announced anything yet, but like the writing was on the wall type thing. And I mean, was totally blown away the first time I heard Earth Suit. I was like, what the heck am I listening to? This is awesome. And so as a youth group kid, and then hearing that, the youth groups being dropped in the second track on that, like, it was so cool. So I'm seeing them play, and there's this dude with a ton of hair, curly hair, killing a djembe. And I'm like, I play djembe. Whoa, that's so cool. And so Darren is playing just a djembe that's mic'd up during the entire Earth Suit set. By the end of it, he had completely busted the head and his hand was bleeding. And so like after the show, I went and found him because I was like, I didn't know they had a djembe player in their band. And I was like, dude, I play djembe too. And he's like, yeah, like what this did. And then he just like showed me the head all busted. And he's like, sorry, I can't shake your hand. And then that was it. And then, 8 months, a year later, I'm like, wait a minute, he's got less hair, but I'm pretty sure that's the djembe guy.
Yeah.
And like playing drums for MuteMath. So
Oh, yeah.
that was super random that he went on tour with them for that whole last year, playing djembe with Hutch on drums. And then, I happened to catch that at Carowinds during Christian
So
Music
cool.
Day.
So cool.
It's nice to know he's always been murdering his drums.
Yes.
Yeah, ever since.
The one thing, I don't know if you saw this, but the one thing I love about Darren is you think he's like this complete animal because he's on stage, he's just going nuts.
Yeah.
And then when you see him afterwards, it's like, oh, hello, nice to meet you. Nice to see you today.
Yeah.
Oh, and tell me more about your life. And I'm like, who is this guy?
And he's married to one of the Eisley girls, which is
Yes, he
oh, you're
is.
right, crossover.
Right. Yep.
What a great band! What a great band they were too.
Yeah.
My quick Eisley story. They opened up for Switchfoot. There you go.
They did.
And there you
That's
go.
right.
But on that tour, I found out that one of my buddies was going to be a dad, and he called me, and I'm trying to make my way to the out because we were waiting to find out this news, whatever. He called me, and on the way out, I just hear it. I go, yes, and they all looked at me while they were playing. I was way out the edge, and they all went because it was a very small club. And afterward, they said, "You're the rude guy." And I said, "I'm so sorry." I explained the situation, right? And they're like, "Oh, okay, that's great. Congratulations." I see. I said, "You saw me right at the very front of the," and then I left. I went to the very back because I was trying not to like disrupt the show. And they said, "Okay, I appreciate that." Once they had context, they were fine. But yeah, I was so embarrassed that Eisley was not a fan of me for a while. Or for that show.
Yeah.
That's why you didn't get married to her, and Darren did.
That's exactly why. I was really vying too.
Yeah.
A chance.
It's neck and neck.
So
That
you're
was a
telling me
separator.
there's a chance.
Well, I hate to ruin our Brady Bunch vibe because, like, on my screen, it's so cute to have all 9 of the pictures going.
Very symmetrical.
It
Yes.
is.
But I do need to bounce and do the dishes and actually talk to my wife for the first time today before get up and do it all again tomorrow. So thank
It's
you
true.
for letting me hop on for a bit, and I look forward to hopefully jumping on again some other time.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
good to
coming.
see ya.
Thanks, man.
Cheers, David. Stay beautiful.
Our beauty points are definitely going down.
That's the news from Lake Scabagan, where all of the bros are on the Zoom call. All of their wives are very permissive and gracious about the whole process. And all the children will someday learn about Furnace Fest.
Onward, Pickle Soldier.
Like it.
Another perfect podcast. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks, gents.
A pleasure.
Hey,
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for
for
having us
having
on.
us.
Kevin, good to see you. buddy.
Thanks,
feel
Kevin.
All right, I'll see you later.
Good luck, man. Good
See you,
luck.
man.
Yeah, man.
Sir.
Cheers, man. Rest
Put
up.
the kids to bed, Brock.
Well, yep, it's about time. I will see you guys, I hope soon.
Brocklets.
Yes, the little
Yeah.
brocklets. Going to put them in the
Yeah.
pod.
That's the Brockless pod and the Kevin's
Yeah.
pod. We haven't had one of these.
Yeah.
I know, man. Well, welcome to the Kevin and Brockless pod. Oh wait, sorry, Brock.
Yeah.
All right.
Onward, Pickle Soldiers.
Perfect podcast.
All right, man.
Good night, man.
All right, appreciate you. Bye.
I just did another pod. Sorry, guys, cheating on you again. But
Stepping
did another
Stones.
pod about this particular album, so I'm excited about it. It's
Which
the,
one was this one?
Everglow show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so King of CCM Twitter, got to talk to him. Super cool. Who I met for the first time in person at Furnace Fest. So it's on the
Was
way
he
out.
was he the one that was in Bucky's and you're like, don't worry about it?
No, that was somebody
You
else. I think it was
didn't-
just
you
somebody.
Big big times, you guys.
You didn't want me to meet him. I think it was because you're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. And then I looked at him later and I went, wait, I think that was the guy.
No, I will introduce you to anybody, Pete. Anybody you want.
And I will to you as well.
I always thought that maybe someday I could see the seats from the backseat of a 15-passenger van, playing shows and sleeping wherever we can. So tired of lost art on burning and repeat. It's time to say, wake up and do